just walk us through the portal process? Obviously, committing to Nebraska and coming here, just what that was like for you that whole week.
Yeah, it was pretty hectic process. I feel like there's a lot of players around the country going through the same thing as me. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was just making the best decision for me. And obviously, it got a little weird, with the whole going to another school or committing to another school. But obviously, I feel like I made the best decision for me and my family to come here. So glad I'm here.
Ultimately, what was it about Kentucky that made this the right fit for you and your family?
For sure. I think it was mainly the coaches, guys like Sloan, Stein, in terms of the quarterbacks they've coached, quarterback development. Guys on the roster who they were keeping from last year was very appealing, and then guys who they plan to get out of the portal was very appealing as well too. So, yeah.
To people who have never seen you throw a football, what would you say is the best part of your game?
I'd like to say I'm pretty accurate. I feel like that's probably my main strength, and then decision making, which is something I obviously try to work on every single day. But I feel like I'm for the most part pretty smart with football.
That part of processing, where you got to make a lot of decisions quickly. Is some of that just playing ball, or is it mastering the playbook kind of before you get out?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both. Like, it's a lot of preparation, studying the playbook, trying to see what you can expect on defense, seeing what the answers are in each and every play. But then also, every play's not perfect. Some plays break down, things go wrong. So there's a part where it's like preparation, mastery of the playbook, and then sometimes you just gotta be a baller, be a football player.
How quickly have you figured out just like what the expectations are from this coaching staff and the playbook that they put in front of you?
Yeah, from the coaching staff, I feel like Steins kind of set the standard when he got here in terms of what he expects. All the coaches really, from coaching, offense, defense, weight room. I feel like everybody has the same goals in terms of winning championships. So I feel like that standard is pretty set. And then the playbook, it's if you go somewhere new, everyone's gonna have to learn playbook. So it's not out of the ordinary to have to come here and learn that. But I feel like they harp on just preparation because everyone's new, everyone's learning the playbook right now. So everyone's kind of in the same boat in terms of having to learn it and go out and practice like we did today, and then prepare for tomorrow as well.
What have you learned about your receivers so far?
I feel like I say this every day, but I feel like we have a really good, really deep wide receiver room. We have a lot of fast, twitchy guys, and I feel like that ranges throughout the entire room. I don't think there's a fall off, honestly. Also, I feel like there's a few guys who can high point the ball for sure, and then some long rangey guys that will definitely help on Saturdays.
Who surprised you? Maybe you didn't know a lot about coming in and immediately surprised you.
Well, I think we're only 2 practices in, but Brock Hoffman on day 1, he had a few big catches, which I was expecting that, but just kind of his background, his history, I don't think a lot of people are expecting that. But he's a really good athlete. He's made a lot of plays already, and then I feel like a guy like Shane Carr, he's very athletic. Really good receiver, very fundamentally sound. So he's gonna be really good too.
It's a fresh start for everybody. But as a transfer quarterback, how do you approach the leadership process and winning over the locker room?
Yeah, I feel like I've had to do that in the past, so I feel like that wasn't as much as a surprise or like a new thing to me. And I feel like I guess my personality, I'm not like a big hoorah guy, but in terms of leading men, I feel like kind of a strong suit for myself, not to put it in a weird way, but I feel like that's not challenging or difficult. It just kind of flows.
Your new best friends are those 5 guys up in front of you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the group of offensive linemen they put together to work with?
No doubt. Yeah, it's a lot of good guys. There's guys who were on the team from last year that I think will play, and then there's guys who, Stein and Sloan and the rest of the offensive staff put together, Cutter. So I feel like there's a lot of long athletic guys up there who will get the job done for sure.
I see approach like Coach Stein said they don't have a depth chart in the spring, so you might have a walk-on in front of you. It's like, how does that fit just with competition and playing with guys who might not be starters?
Yeah, I mean, like second day in, like, I'm really, like, in terms of the defense guys, like, I don't know if you played last year. I don't know if you started at your old school. So I'm really just going out, getting the call, trying to see what the defense is in, and just trying to execute. So I'm not really worried about in terms of like who I'm going up against or, the O-line. Everyone, is fighting for a position. So
Coach Sloan spoke about how the connection is really important amongst the team. With so many new faces, a lot of guys like that don't know each other. How do you guys just like know faces, names, kind of learn about each other's backgrounds? Yeah,
for sure. I feel like, spending almost every second with each other definitely helps. We're in the facility a lot, so, that camaraderie definitely builds. And then, just trying to hang out with different guys on the weekends, go out to eat, hang out at the house, invite guys over, whatever that may be. And then also we do like get real sessions, which is a thing we do weekly, where we all meet up as a team, and then we'll kind of break out into like breakout rooms, and it'll be a group of like 10 guys maybe in each room, and you kind of get to dive into everyone's story. Everyone gets to talk about themselves, so that way I can learn about the guy I'm handing the ball off to, like Tavani, for example. I feel like before I thought I knew him, and then he's in my breakout room, and he's talking about his story, for example, and I felt like walking out of that room I know him more now. So
2 years ago you're on a team that's in the national championship. Tegra was in that game, playing in that game. Coach Stein was in the semifinal last year with a bunch of other guys on this staff. Do you think there's anything from that playoff experience that can be an advantage for you guys here this year?
For sure, yeah. Like you mentioned Stein, like, he was one game away from being where we want to be. So I feel like that, and then also, like you mentioned, 2 years ago we were in the national championship. So just kind of like the standard of excellence that we expect, I feel like that is something that is like shared amongst the team, and also something that guys like Stein are trying to enforce every single day. So I feel like having like that experience of what like perfection or excellence looks like makes it easier to also like come into a new environment and try to instill that in the guys around you.
What's just the early impression of Kentucky?
I really like Kentucky. I mean, I always say I'm easy to please as long as I got some good food and a calm crib. Now I'm set. So it's been nice. I really like the people here. Been nothing but good people here in the facility, and I have no complaints.
You weren't one of those guys who jumped in the portal right away. So what was the decision-making process, and why Kentucky?
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult, portal season nowadays is crazy. Pretty sure everybody knows that now, but I just weighed all my options, really let things play out, and on that last day, talked to my brothers, talked to my family, and it just looked like the best decision. And looking back at it now, I think I made the right decision for myself. So,
what made Kentucky so attractive?
Obviously, familiarity with Coach Sloan. But also, once I hopped in the portal, conversations with. That was good. Oh, you like that? You were waiting for that one? Okay. But obviously, like conversations with Coach Stein, he's a brilliant man. I think the first question he asked me was, what was my favorite concept? And then he got into a whole spiel on his favorite concept. Just talking ball with him, and just the real player relationship that he had. I just really connected with him, and that was a big decision on why I ended up coming here.
Injuries have always been such a big part of your story. How did you move past that, and then how much did it still affect you last year?
Yeah, I mean, injuries are part of the game. Unfortunately, I've had more of my fair share of injuries, but I'm always just looking ahead, and I feel good right now. My body feels good. Training staff here is great. Strength staff here is great, and they really got my body into a great spot. So I feel good going into this next season.
What is your favorite concept?
My favorite what?
Concept. You were
Concept.
talking-
Oh, my favorite concept. I like one of our drive concepts that we have, little switch seam read, and I don't know. I just like options when I'm running my routes. So that's probably one of my favorite concepts. I won't give you too much.
What's it been like working with Kenny so far?
Oh, Kenny's great. Are you listening, Kenny? Is he gone? Yeah, he left. No, Kenny's great. I mean, he's been in college for a minute, so he knows what he's talking about. He's had a lot of experience, especially in Notre Dame. It's a great program, and it's been amazing. I mean, he can zip the ball. We've been throwing a lot this offseason, and I'm really excited to see how he leads this offense moving forward.
You've really talked up his accuracy. Is that something you've been able to see early?
Oh yeah. Me especially. I'm the one catching for him. So yeah, he's always putting that ball in the right spot. And shoot, if he misses, I'll let you know.
We were out at Pro Day yesterday. They had the big Monarch shooting gun thing. What does that do for you? Like, is it better than just your normal jugs machine?
Man, it's great. I'm not gonna lie, it's amazing. Especially with the equipment managers that we have here. They run it for us. Can't shout out them more. But yeah, it's great. I mean, it shoots everywhere because rarely is the football going to be in the same spot every time. So shooting it different spots in rapid succession is really big for receivers. And you can set it up anywhere on the field, do over-shoulder balls, deep digs, crossing routes. So really do anything with that machine. So.
What's your impression of the rest of that receiver room?
Man, this receiving room was great. Really young, but really talented. And I could brag on every single one of them for a minute. But I mean, if you want me to, I can. But.
Well, DJ, one of those. I mean, he was hurt for the first part of the year, but really flashed as a freshman. He's young, but how have you seen him just grow in a short amount of time?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, coming in, I heard that he was a little bit more nonchalant, but he's really stepped into a leadership role alongside with me, and he's been a real important voice in that room. And he's obviously a bigger body, very physical, goes up and gets the ball, attacks it, and that's something we need in this offense for sure.